So today I want to talk to y'all about my first heartbreak by a man, okay? So we got to go way, way back. Way, way, way back. I want to say around the ages of 7, 8, maybe. I used to get dropped off at my older cousin's house a lot. C Street was the spot, okay? We was over there. We was out here getting into all the things, all right? But this particular time, one of my other cousins, who is like my mother's generation, so she's more so like an aunt, she came and picked me up so that I can go to her house and hang out with my other cousins, my generation, right? So we're over there having a good time, and then it's time to go. So all of us pile up in the back seat. It's maybe 4 of us. I think it's about 4 of us. And my cousins get dropped off at another house, which is the house, I'm going to call her my aunt, one of my other aunts, right? So all 3 of them are gone. I'm still in the car in the back seat by myself now, getting ready to be dropped back off to C Street at my older cousin's house where I originally started, right? So my aunt is driving and she stops at this gas station, and her husband, who is my uncle, gets in the car. And let me tell you something. I loved this man so much. Like, I just looked up to him. I don't know exactly why, but that was my uncle. You know what I'm saying? He was cool, and we was cool. And they are getting into it, and they're having an argument. And he's going through her purse, and he's yelling, and he just starts punching her, like tearing her up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm in the back, petrified, traumatized, crying, screaming, yelling, stop. And my aunt looks back at me, and her face is just bloody. And that was my first heartbreak. Like, first of all, I didn't even want to be there. I wanted to go with my cousins to our other aunt spot and continue the party, but I had to go back to where I originally started, around C Street, right? And what I saw completely just altered my brain, right? It changed the way that I looked at this man, and fast forward how I looked at men, you know? It definitely has impacted my relationships with men, my trust in men. And of course, this is something that I have been growing through, working through throughout the years, right? But I was just in here thinking, like, that was my first real heartbreak by a man, experiencing that, seeing that, you know? It made me really cautious in my dealings with men. It made me take on this mentality of, oh, I'm gonna get you before you could ever get me, period, you know? I remember, fast forward now, I remember bringing that experience up, and I had to be maybe like in my early 20s, and I brought the experience up again to my mom, because I was like, yo, that really impacted me, being in that situation and seeing that. And I remember her saying something like, you still think about that? And for me, I'm just like, whoa, you know, like, I was offended. I was confused, you know, because I'm like, what? Yeah, I do still think about that. It actually impacts me tremendously years later, you know? It completely changed my views on love and my relationships with men, you know? And honestly, it led to more resentment towards my mom at that time, because I couldn't understand why she didn't understand how something like that was still in my mind or my spirit. Like, I still think about that. How can I not? Am I supposed to just completely erase something like that? But of course, through my work, and when I say my work, therapy, my spiritual work, my work around healing my mother wound, I realized that she herself has seen and experienced a lot as a child, as a teen, as an adult, right? So maybe for her process of just wiping things out, or not thinking about things, or not communicating that certain things are impacting her, maybe that's why she said what it is that she said to me, right? I'm nobody's victim. I want to say that. I'm nobody's victim. What happened, and there are plenty of things that have happened since then that have impacted me since then. But I want to share this story because I am a person who spent a great amount of time with women. The majority of the women in my life are mothers, right? And I was just talking to one of my sisters maybe last week about the ways in which children who are in situations where they have experienced traumatic things grow up to carry those things with them, and it impacts the way they show up in the world. It alters their brains, right? And that is one of the reasons why I have chosen not to bring physical life into this world. This is why I'm not nobody's mama as of now, because I know that I have so much work to do before I take on such a major responsibility, right? Like my own mental, spiritual, physical, emotional work that has to continue before I can even think of anything like that, right? So, yeah, that's my first heartbreak. And again, I'm nobody's victim. I just want to share this story as inspiration to, number one, encourage whoever is listening to have the courage to go back and revisit the things that you have experienced in your life. Take a moment to ask yourself, am I still carrying this with me? And how is this impacting my mental health, how I show up in my relationships, what it is that I allow, all of the things. And if you are a parent, if you have children, ask yourself, what is it that I am allowing my children to experience by way of me living? What are they seeing? What are they taking in? You know? What changes do I need to make for me to be well and for my children to be well now and in the future? No, I'm just saying, I'm just gonna leave this one right here. All right, I love y'all. Peace.